Hey, it's Gary from GTR Consulting, and we're back to talk about Gen Z and diversity. So we put together a panel of Gen Z respondents and came up with some interesting findings. Basically, they consider themselves to be much more open-minded than previous generations, but they're very aware of the issues that we have in society today, especially when it comes to systemic racism. So let's have a listen to what they have to say.
I live in Boston, and so I'm generally somewhere in the city in the Back Bay area. It is a really diverse population of people that we're around. It's really common for me to be around people that don't look like me or that do look like me, and it's gotten to a point where most of my friends just don't really notice. Not in a way that's like weird, like you will notice people around you, but just like it's not worth commenting on. It's really normal to see people that look all different ways. Versus when I am out with people my parents' age, I notice that there's almost like they notice their own reaction to something and then feel the need to correct it. So for example, we were in like the Alignment Museum and saw an African-American family in front of us. I'll notice someone who's older than me like take stock of that and then realize that they had a reaction to it and then try to be like, nope, I'm good. And I'm just like, I didn't even know that whole process needed to happen in the first place because it doesn't happen when I'm around people my age as often.
I think our generation, like, yes, is more open-minded, but is more like on the front lines to fix whatever issues are left within it. Like, I know I mentioned the massive support of Gen Z for the Black Lives Matter movement, for example. I don't know, I think our generation is just kind of like as Alice said, we don't like notice these differences, but we notice that the generations above us do, and we want to like actively just make everybody be more normalized to it. Like our generation isn't like, oh, you're Asian, you're Black, you're Hispanic. Like we don't care. Like we're all the same generation. And we want to unite together to, I don't know, get rid of like the corruption in the government or like different things like that.
I think what makes our generation kind of different from the previous generations that with our generation growing up with social media, we're seeing a lot more than ever before. We're seeing things that we couldn't have imagined from countries away, states away. And we're seeing more people just being supportive of each other, being more inclusive, supporting Black Lives Matter, supporting LGBTQ plus communities. And I just want to include everybody. And most of us don't want people to feel left out. I want to be optimistic and say it's my generation, our generation, trying to push the envelope a little bit.
And I moved to Mississippi and I lived there for 5 years from Los Angeles. Mississippi's not liberal. And I actually saw, firsthand that a lot of people, especially our generation in the South, so not just, like the older Southern generation, but people my age. So I would have friends who would say the N-word jokingly, but thought that that was like, oh, like that's normal. But to me from LA, that's not normal.
But I do feel like the way the presidency went this past 4 years made people more comfortable being the way the president was acting, being okay with being racist and saying some rude remarks.
I think one of the most dangerous things about Donald Trump is the platform he gave to all of the racists in this country.
I feel like I am hopeful that there will be more systemic changes this time because I feel like people have become more aware of the idea of like institutionalized prejudice, or specifically how it affects race and gender, and the fact that those things are actually written into our laws. And hopefully with the new administration, some of those laws will change.
Now, with the pandemic, the new president coming in, well, who knows what the next few years will bring. But these Gen Z respondents really feel like they are looking out for the greater good, and they all just want to get along. So until next time, peace, stay safe, wear a mask.